The weather forecast warned of heavy rain all day, but instead of changing my plans, I smiled with excitement. There's something incredibly peaceful about camping during a storm, especially when you have the right equipment. Today was extra special because I was taking my brand new automatic 3-room trailer on its very first adventure. As I drove along the quiet countryside roads, dark clouds rolled across the sky, and the wind gently swayed the trees. The first raindrops landed on the windshield, slowly at first, then growing heavier with every passing mile. The rhythmic sound of the rain instantly created a relaxing mood. I turned off the radio and simply listened to nature. After nearly 2 hours of driving, I arrived at a beautiful campground beside a peaceful lake surrounded by tall pine trees. The campsite was almost empty because of the weather, making it feel like I had the entire place to myself. Mist floated over the water while heavy clouds reflected on the calm surface of the lake. The rain continued steadily as I parked my vehicle in the perfect spot overlooking the shoreline. Normally, setting up camp in heavy rain can be stressful, but today was completely different. This new automatic 3-room trailer was designed to make camping effortless. I stepped outside wearing my waterproof jacket, pressed a single button on the control panel, and watched the trailer come to life. The roof slowly lifted by itself. Both side rooms unfolded automatically with smooth electric motors. The walls locked securely into place without requiring any manual effort. Within only a few minutes, the compact trailer transformed into a spacious 3-room home. One room became the comfortable bedroom, another served as a cozy living area, and the third became a practical kitchen and dining space. Watching everything open automatically while standing in the rain felt almost magical. Next, I attached the large awning to the side of the trailer. Despite the heavy rain, the awning created a dry outdoor space where I could relax while listening to the beautiful sound of raindrops overhead. The rain drummed softly against the fabric roof, creating the relaxing atmosphere that every camper dreams about. Inside, the trailer felt warm, bright, and surprisingly spacious. Soft LED lighting illuminated the modern wooden interior. Large panoramic windows allowed me to enjoy the rainy scenery while remaining completely warm and dry. The gentle glow from the lights reflected beautifully against the rain-covered windows. My first task was simple. Coffee. I filled the kettle, switched it on, and within minutes, the rich aroma of freshly brewed coffee filled the trailer. Holding the warm mug with both hands, I sat near the large front window and watched heavy rain fall across the lake. Tiny ripples spread endlessly across the water, while fog slowly drifted between the trees. It was impossible not to relax. By lunchtime, the cool weather made me hungry. Inside the modern kitchen, I prepared creamy chicken pasta with garlic, mushrooms, and Parmesan cheese. Fresh bread warmed inside the small oven, while butter slowly melted across its crispy surface. The delicious smell filled every room of the trailer. Instead of eating indoors, I carried my lunch beneath the awning. Rain poured down only a few feet away, yet I remained completely dry and comfortable. The sound of thousands of raindrops striking the awning created a peaceful, natural soundtrack unlike anything else. Every bite tasted better, with the fresh mountain air surrounding me. Later in the afternoon, the rain briefly became lighter. I decided to explore the nearby lakeside trail. Wearing waterproof boots and my rain jacket, I followed a narrow path through the forest. Wet leaves shimmered beneath the cloudy sky, while small streams formed beside the trail from the continuous rainfall. I spotted a family of ducks swimming happily across the lake. A pair of deer quietly walked between the trees before disappearing into the mist. Nature seemed completely alive in the rain. Soon, dark clouds returned, bringing another powerful downpour. I laughed as I hurried back toward camp, enjoying every moment. Inside the trailer, I removed my wet jacket and switched on the small heater. Warm air quickly filled all 3 rooms. I lit a vanilla-scented candle and turned on soft instrumental piano music. The cozy atmosphere instantly erased every trace of the cold weather outside. For the next couple of hours, I simply relaxed. I read a book, organized my camping gear, and occasionally looked outside to admire the rain falling steadily over the lake. The automatic trailer felt less like camping and more like staying inside a tiny luxury cabin. As evening approached, it was time to prepare dinner. Tonight's menu included grilled salmon, herb-seasoned potatoes, roasted vegetables, and warm garlic bread. Cooking, while watching heavy rain through the panoramic windows, made the experience feel incredibly comforting. After dinner, I prepared a large mug of rich hot chocolate topped with marshmallows. Wrapped in a soft blanket, I carried my drink beneath the awning. The rain was even heavier now. Water cascaded from the edges of the awning, while the warm lights inside the trailer created a beautiful golden glow against the dark evening. The combination of heavy rain, warm lighting, and peaceful surroundings created one of the most relaxing moments I had experienced in a long time. As night settled over the campground, the lake disappeared beneath a layer of fog. The only sounds remaining were rain, distant frogs, and the gentle rustling of trees moving in the wind. Before going to bed, I stood outside for one final moment beneath the awning. The cool air smelled wonderfully fresh. Heavy rain continued falling across the forest, while tiny reflections danced across puddles surrounding the trailer. I took a deep breath and smiled. This was exactly why I loved camping. Back inside, I dimmed the lights, locked the trailer door, and climbed into the comfortable bed. The soft mattress, warm blankets, and the steady rhythm of heavy rain on the roof created the perfect environment for a deep, peaceful sleep. Throughout the night, the storm continued, but inside the automatic trailer, I felt completely safe, warm, and comfortable. The next morning, I woke to birds singing outside. The rain had finally stopped. Golden sunlight streamed through the windows, illuminating thousands of sparkling raindrops covering the trees, grass, and lake. The air smelled wonderfully clean after the storm. I stepped outside with a fresh cup of coffee and admired the peaceful scenery one last time. Packing up was just as easy as setting up. I simply pressed another button, and the roof lowered while both side rooms folded neatly back into place. Within minutes, the spacious three-room trailer had transformed back into its compact travel form, ready for the road. As I drove away, I looked back at the quiet campsite with a grateful smile. This trip wasn't just about testing a new trailer. It was about discovering how simple comforts, gentle rain, and time spent in nature can bring genuine happiness. Sometimes the best adventures aren't found under clear blue skies. Sometimes they begin with dark clouds, heavy rain, a warm trailer, and the comforting sound of raindrops that stay with you long after the journey ends. The sky was already dark when I started my journey early in the morning. Thick storm clouds stretched from one horizon to the other, and the weather forecast predicted heavy rain throughout the day and night. Many campers would have stayed home, but for me, this was the perfect opportunity to test my brand new automatic three-room trailer in real weather conditions. I had been waiting for this trip for weeks. This trailer wasn't like any camper I had owned before. With the push of a single button, the roof could rise automatically, and both side rooms would unfold on their own, transforming a compact trailer into a spacious three-room home in just a few minutes. As I drove deeper into the mountains, light rain quickly turned into a heavy downpour. Raindrops pounded against the windshield, while the wipers worked tirelessly back and forth. Instead of feeling discouraged, I smiled. Rain has always made camping feel calmer, quieter, and somehow more magical. The road wound through dense pine forests, where mist drifted between towering trees. Small waterfalls appeared along rocky cliffs, flowing stronger with every passing minute as the rain continued to fall. After nearly 3 hours of driving, I reached a quiet forest campground hidden beside a small river. There wasn't another camper in sight. The entire campground belonged to the storm and to me. The rain poured heavily as I parked beside a clearing surrounded by tall cedar and pine trees. The peaceful sound of the nearby river blended perfectly with the steady rhythm of rain falling through the forest canopy. Normally, setting up camp in weather like this would be difficult, but today, everything was different. I stepped outside wearing my waterproof jacket and simply pressed the automatic setup button. Immediately, the trailer came to life. The roof slowly lifted into place. The left room unfolded smoothly. Then the right room extended automatically. Within only a few minutes, the compact trailer had transformed into a spacious three-room retreat. One room became my comfortable bedroom with a large bed and storage cabinets. The second room became a relaxing living area with soft seating and large panoramic windows. The third room housed a fully equipped kitchen and dining space. Watching everything open automatically while standing in heavy rain felt almost futuristic. Next, I connected a large waterproof awning to the side of the trailer. The awning instantly created a dry outdoor space where I could sit close to nature without getting wet. Rain drummed steadily against the fabric roof, producing one of the most relaxing sounds I had ever heard. Inside, warm LED lighting illuminated the beautiful wooden interior. Every room felt bright, clean, and welcoming despite the dark weather outside. The first thing I prepared was fresh coffee. The kettle gently whistled as rain continued pounding on the roof. Soon the rich aroma filled every corner of the trailer. I carried my steaming mug beneath the awning and sat quietly, watching the rain fall through the trees. Water dripped from every branch, while tiny streams formed across the forest floor. The entire landscape looked refreshed and alive. There was nowhere else I would rather be. As lunchtime arrived, I decided to cook something warm and filling. Today's menu was creamy beef stew served with buttery mashed potatoes and freshly baked bread. Cooking inside the spacious kitchen was surprisingly comfortable. Large windows allowed me to enjoy the rainy scenery while preparing lunch. The delicious smell of herbs, garlic, and slow-cooked vegetables filled the trailer. I enjoyed my meal beneath the awning while listening to the relaxing rhythm of heavy rain. Every bite tasted even better, surrounded by cool mountain air and peaceful forest sounds. After lunch, I noticed the rain becoming slightly lighter. Taking advantage of the break, I put on waterproof boots and walked toward the nearby river. The narrow trail wound through towering pine trees covered with sparkling raindrops. The forest smelled incredible. Wet earth, fresh moss, pine needles, everything felt clean after hours of rainfall. When I reached the river, I stood quietly on a small wooden bridge. The water rushed beneath me, flowing faster than usual after the storm. Mist floated above the surface, while raindrops created endless circles across the moving water. Suddenly, I noticed a family of deer crossing the opposite riverbank. They paused briefly before disappearing silently into the forest. It felt like nature was sharing one of its hidden moments. Soon, another wave of heavy rain arrived. I laughed and slowly walked back toward camp, enjoying every cool raindrop that landed on my jacket. Back inside the trailer, I removed my wet clothes and switched on the heater. Warm air quickly filled all 3 rooms. I changed into comfortable clothes, lit a vanilla candle, and turned on soft acoustic guitar music. The atmosphere became unbelievably cozy. Outside, rain continued falling heavily. Inside, everything felt warm and peaceful. The afternoon passed quietly as I read a novel beside the large window. Occasionally, I looked outside to admire the storm. Fog drifted between the trees while rain continued washing over the forest. As evening approached, I prepared dinner. Tonight's meal was grilled steak with roasted vegetables, garlic butter mushrooms, and creamy pasta. The modern kitchen made cooking enjoyable even during the storm. After dinner, I prepared a large mug of hot chocolate topped with whipped cream and chocolate shavings. Wrapped in a thick blanket, I carried it beneath the awning. The rain was still falling heavily. Water streamed from the edges of the awning, while warm golden lights from inside the trailer reflected beautifully across the wet ground. The peaceful atmosphere was unforgettable. The forest had become completely quiet except for rain, the distant river, and the occasional call of an owl. Before bedtime, I stepped away from the awning for just a few seconds. Cool raindrops landed gently on my face. The fresh forest air filled my lungs. Standing there beneath the storm, I realized how peaceful life becomes when you slow down and simply enjoy the present moment. Returning inside, I locked the trailer door and dimmed the lights. The bedroom felt wonderfully comfortable. Rain tapped steadily against the roof, while the gentle warmth inside made it easy to relax. Within minutes, I was fast asleep. The storm continued throughout the entire night, but inside the automatic trailer I slept peacefully, surrounded by comfort and the soothing sounds of nature. When morning arrived, sunlight slowly broke through the clouds. The forest sparkled with countless raindrops reflecting golden light. Birds sang cheerfully from every direction, while the river flowed calmly beside the campsite. I brewed one last cup of coffee and enjoyed breakfast beneath the awning. Packing up was effortless. With one press of a button, both side rooms folded inward, and the roof lowered smoothly back into place. Within minutes, the spacious 3-room home became a compact trailer once again. As I drove away through the quiet forest, I looked back one last time. This camping trip had reminded me that even the heaviest storms can create the warmest memories. Sometimes all you need is a cozy trailer, the peaceful sound of rain, and a quiet place in nature to discover how simple life can truly be. The sound of distant thunder echoed across the mountains as I began my journey before sunrise. Dark clouds filled the sky from every direction, and the weather forecast showed nothing but heavy rain for the next 24 hours. While most travelers would cancel their camping plans, I couldn't wait to experience the storm. Today would be the first real adventure with my brand new automatic 3-room trailer, and I wanted to see how it performed in the kind of weather that keeps most people indoors. The drive toward the lake was calm and peaceful. Rain started as a gentle drizzle, but within minutes it became a steady downpour. Large raindrops splashed across the windshield while the wipers worked nonstop. I switched off the music and listened only to the sound of the rain. The peaceful rhythm made the journey feel relaxing instead of tiring. The road wound through forests, crossed small wooden bridges, and climbed over rolling hills. Fog floated between the pine trees, making the landscape look like something from a dream. Every creek beside the road was flowing faster than usual after hours of rain, and tiny waterfalls poured down rocky cliffs along the mountainside. After nearly 3 hours, I reached a hidden campground beside a beautiful mountain lake. The lake was surrounded by tall, evergreen trees, and mist drifted gently above the calm water. Because of the weather, the campground was completely empty. It felt as if the entire place had been reserved just for me. I parked the trailer beside the shoreline, where I could enjoy an uninterrupted view of the lake. Heavy rain continued falling, but instead of rushing, I smiled. This was exactly the kind of peaceful camping experience I had been looking forward to. I stepped outside wearing my waterproof jacket and pressed the automatic setup button. Immediately, the trailer began transforming itself. The roof slowly rose into position. The left side room extended smoothly. Moments later, the right side room unfolded automatically. Within only a few minutes, the compact trailer had become a spacious 3-room home. The front room became a comfortable living area with soft seating and panoramic windows overlooking the lake. The center room featured a fully equipped kitchen and dining space. The rear room transformed into a cozy bedroom with a comfortable bed, storage cabinets, and soft lighting. Watching the entire setup happen automatically while standing in heavy rain felt almost unbelievable. The best part was that I stayed almost completely dry throughout the process. Next, I connected a large waterproof awning to the side of the trailer. It created a spacious outdoor shelter where I could enjoy the rain without getting wet. The steady sound of raindrops hitting the awning instantly created a peaceful atmosphere that made me want to sit there for hours. Inside, the trailer felt warm and inviting. Soft LED lights glowed gently against the wooden interior, while large windows framed the beautiful rainy landscape outside. Every room felt surprisingly spacious, making it easy to forget I was inside a trailer. The first thing I did was make coffee. Soon, the comforting aroma filled every corner of the camper. Holding the steaming mug, I sat beneath the awning and watched the heavy rain dance across the lake. Countless ripples spread over the water while fog slowly drifted between the trees. It was one of the most peaceful moments I had experienced in a long time. Around noon, I prepared lunch. Today's meal was creamy mushroom soup, served with toasted garlic bread and grilled chicken sandwiches. Cooking inside the modern kitchen was enjoyable, especially with the beautiful rainy scenery visible through every window. I carried my lunch outside beneath the awning. The rain continued pouring heavily only a few feet away, yet I remained warm, dry, and completely relaxed. The gentle breeze carried the fresh scent of rain, wet pine trees, and the nearby lake. Every bite felt comforting. By early afternoon, the rain became slightly lighter. I decided to take a short walk along the lake shore. Wearing waterproof boots and a rain jacket, I followed a narrow trail through the forest. Wet leaves sparkled beneath the cloudy sky, while small streams crossed the path. Near the shoreline, I discovered colorful wildflowers covered with tiny raindrops that looked like diamonds. A family of ducks swam peacefully through the rain, completely undisturbed by the weather. Farther along the trail, I spotted 2 graceful swans gliding slowly across the mist-covered lake. Their reflections shimmered beautifully on the water before disappearing into the fog. After an hour, the rain suddenly became much heavier again. I hurried back to camp, laughing as cool raindrops splashed around me. Inside the trailer, I removed my wet jacket and turned on the heater. Warm air quickly spread throughout all 3 rooms, making the interior feel incredibly cozy. I changed into dry clothes, lit a cedarwood-scented candle, and played soft instrumental music through a small speaker. Outside, the storm continued. Inside, everything felt peaceful. The afternoon passed quietly. I spent time organizing my camping gear, reading a novel, and watching the rain through the panoramic windows. Occasionally, thunder rolled across the mountains, followed by the steady rhythm of falling rain. As evening approached, I prepared dinner. Tonight's menu included grilled salmon, creamy mashed potatoes, roasted vegetables, and buttered corn. Cooking while watching the storm outside made the meal feel even more enjoyable. After dinner, I made a rich cup of hot chocolate topped with whipped cream and chocolate flakes. Wrapped in a warm blanket, I carried the mug beneath the awning. Heavy rain poured from the roof while warm golden light from inside the trailer reflected beautifully across the wet ground. The peaceful atmosphere was unforgettable. Night slowly covered the lake. The forest became completely quiet except for rain, distant frogs, and the occasional call of an owl hidden somewhere among the trees. Before bed, I stood beneath the awning for one final moment. The cool breeze touched my face while fresh rain scented the air. The lake disappeared beneath drifting fog, and the world felt wonderfully still. I took a deep breath, grateful for the simple beauty surrounding me. Back inside, I dimmed the lights and climbed into the comfortable bed. The sound of heavy rain falling on the roof created the perfect lullaby. Wrapped beneath warm blankets, I quickly drifted into a deep and peaceful sleep. When morning arrived, sunlight slowly broke through the clouds. The rain had finally stopped. The lake shimmered beneath the golden sunrise. Every tree sparkled with fresh raindrops, and birds filled the forest with cheerful songs. I brewed one last cup of coffee and enjoyed breakfast beneath the awning, taking in the peaceful view one final time. Packing up was effortless. With one press of a button, both side rooms folded neatly inward, and the roof lowered automatically. Within minutes, the spacious trailer returned to its compact travel form. As I drove away from the lakeside campground, I looked back through the mirror and smiled. This journey reminded me that even the strongest storms can create the most beautiful memories. A warm trailer, the gentle sound of rain, and a quiet place beside the lake were all it took to turn an ordinary camping trip into an unforgettable adventure with the happiest ending. The adventure began just before dawn, as thick storm clouds gathered over the mountains. The weather forecast predicted non-stop heavy rain, strong winds, and occasional thunder throughout the day. Most people would have postponed their camping trip, but for me, this was exactly the kind of weather I had been waiting for. There is something peaceful about sitting safely inside a warm camper while listening to rain falling outside. Today was even more exciting because I was taking my brand new automatic 3-room trailer on its very first mountain adventure. The trailer was designed to make camping effortless. With a single press of a button, the roof would rise automatically, and both side rooms would unfold without any manual work. I had watched demonstration videos many times, but today I would finally experience it for myself. As I left the city behind, the roads became quieter and the scenery more beautiful. Rolling hills soon turned into towering mountains covered with thick pine forests. Rain began as a light drizzle, but by the time I reached the mountain pass, it had become a powerful downpour. Large raindrops hammered against the windshield while mist drifted across the winding roads. Water flowed down rocky cliffs beside the highway, creating dozens of temporary waterfalls that sparkled in the gray morning light. The deeper I drove into the mountains, the more peaceful everything became. Nearly 3 hours later, I arrived at a small campground perched high above a beautiful valley. The campsite overlooked endless forests, distant mountain peaks, and a winding river flowing far below. Because of the storm, I was the only camper there. The heavy rain created a curtain of silver across the valley, while low clouds wrapped themselves around the mountaintops. It was the perfect place for a peaceful camping adventure. I parked the trailer in a level spot overlooking the breathtaking scenery. Instead of rushing to set everything up manually, I simply stepped outside, opened the control panel, and pressed one button. The trailer immediately came to life. The roof lifted slowly and smoothly. The left room extended outward. Then the right room unfolded automatically. Within only a few minutes, the compact trailer transformed into a spacious three-room cabin. The front room became a comfortable lounge with large panoramic windows. The center room featured a modern kitchen and dining area. The rear room became a cozy bedroom with soft lighting and plenty of storage. Watching everything happen automatically while rain poured around me felt almost futuristic. The setup was completely effortless. Next, I connected a large waterproof awning to the side of the trailer. It created a spacious outdoor shelter where I could enjoy the storm without getting wet. Rain drummed continuously against the awning above, producing one of the most relaxing sounds imaginable. Inside, warm LED lights illuminated the beautiful wood-finished interior. The atmosphere immediately felt welcoming. Large windows allowed me to watch the storm from every room while staying warm and dry. The first thing I did was prepare a fresh pot of coffee. As the kettle gently boiled, the rich aroma filled every corner of the trailer. Holding the steaming mug, I stepped beneath the awning and admired the incredible mountain view. Heavy rain swept across the valley while fog slowly drifted between the trees. The only sounds were falling rain, distant thunder, and birds occasionally calling from somewhere within the forest. It was absolute peace. Around lunchtime, I decided to cook something warm and satisfying. Today's menu included creamy chicken noodle soup, grilled cheese sandwiches, and roasted potatoes seasoned with fresh herbs. Cooking inside the spacious kitchen felt surprisingly easy. Every window framed a different view of the rainy mountains. After preparing everything, I enjoyed lunch beneath the awning. The cool mountain air mixed perfectly with the warmth of the meal. Every bite felt comforting, while rain continued falling only a few feet away. Later in the afternoon, the rain briefly became lighter. I decided to explore a nearby mountain trail. Wearing waterproof boots and a rain jacket, I followed a narrow path winding through towering pine trees. The forest smelled incredible. Fresh rain, wet moss, pine needles, cool mountain air. Every breath felt refreshing. Small waterfalls flowed beside the trail, fed by the heavy rain. Birds flew between the trees while colorful wildflowers sparkled with tiny raindrops. Eventually, I reached a scenic overlook. The valley stretched endlessly below. Mist floated above the river while dark clouds rolled slowly across the mountains. It was one of the most beautiful views I had ever seen. Soon another wave of heavy rain arrived. I smiled, pulled my hood over my head, and walked calmly back toward camp. By the time I returned, my jacket was soaked, but the trailer welcomed me with warmth and comfort. I removed my wet clothes, switched on the heater, and changed into a soft sweater. Warm air quickly filled all three rooms. I lit a cedarwood candle and played gentle acoustic guitar music through a portable speaker. The cozy atmosphere made it impossible not to relax. The afternoon passed quietly. I read a novel beside the panoramic window while watching heavy rain wash over the mountains. Occasionally, thunder echoed through the valley, making the experience feel even more dramatic. As evening arrived, I prepared dinner. Tonight's meal was grilled steak with garlic butter, creamy mashed potatoes, roasted vegetables, and freshly baked bread. After dinner, I made a large mug of hot chocolate topped with whipped cream and cinnamon. Wrapped in a warm blanket, I carried it beneath the awning. Rain continued pouring from the roof, while warm golden light from inside the trailer reflected beautifully across the wet ground. The peaceful atmosphere felt almost magical. Night slowly settled over the mountains. The valley disappeared beneath drifting fog. Tiny camping lights glowed softly around the trailer, while rain continued falling without interruption. The cool breeze carried the scent of pine trees and fresh rain through the campsite. Before bedtime, I stepped beyond the awning for a moment. Cool raindrops landed gently on my hands and face. I looked across the dark valley and listened carefully. There was no traffic, no city lights, no noise. Only rain, only wind, only nature. I stood there quietly feeling grateful for such a simple yet unforgettable experience. Returning inside, I locked the trailer door and dimmed the lights. The bedroom felt warm and peaceful. The comfortable bed, soft blankets, and the gentle rhythm of heavy rain on the roof created the perfect place to rest. Within minutes, I drifted into a deep and restful sleep. The storm continued throughout the night, But inside the automatic trailer, I felt completely safe and comfortable. The following morning, I woke to complete silence. The rain had finally stopped. Golden sunlight streamed through the windows, filling the trailer with warmth. Outside, every tree sparkled with thousands of tiny raindrops, and the mountains stood proudly beneath a clear blue sky. Birds filled the air with cheerful songs, while the valley below glowed in the fresh morning light. I brewed one final cup of coffee and enjoyed breakfast beneath the awning, taking in the breathtaking view one last time. When it was time to leave, I simply pressed the automatic control button. The awning was packed away, the side rooms folded in smoothly, and the roof lowered gently until the spacious three-room home became a compact travel trailer once again. As I drove down the mountain road, I smiled at the memories I had made. This journey taught me that storms are not something to fear. They can become the most beautiful part of an adventure. With a cozy automatic trailer, the comforting sound of rain, and the beauty of the mountains all around me, I found a kind of peace that is difficult to describe. I knew I would return again, because sometimes the happiest endings begin with dark clouds, heavy rain, and the courage to embrace the journey.